I pulled into the driveway at 6:47 p.m. on a Wednesday, bone-tired from a double shift at the warehouse. My supervisor badge felt heavy in my pocket. All I wanted was a hot shower and maybe some leftover pizza. The living room lights were on. I could hear voices inside and female voices laughing. I unlocked the door quietly, not trying to sneak, just too exhausted to announce myself. That's when I heard her voice cut through the chatter. Honestly, I don't think this marriage will last another year. He's fallen so far below my level at this point. I froze in the hallway. 3 of her friends were on our couch, wine glasses everywhere. They all burst out laughing like she'd just said the funniest thing. "Girl, you've been too patient already," one said. "Way too patient," another agreed. My wife sat in the middle of them, nodding like some kind of relationship expert. "I keep thinking maybe he'll step up," she said, trailing off with a theatrical sigh that made them laugh again. For a moment, my heart pounded and my head went clear. You know that instant when everything clicks into place? When you finally see what you'd been pretending not to see? I walked into the living room. They all turned. The laughter died. "Hey," I said, keeping my voice level. "Interesting conversation." Her face went white. "Oh, you're home early." Double shift ended early. "Good thing, too." She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "That's not," she started. "Why wait a year?" I asked. The calmness in my voice surprised me. "Let's end it now." Dead silence. One of her friends set down her wine glass. My wife blinked, eyes wide. "You heard me," I said. "You want out?" "Door's right there." "Or I can leave. Either way works." I pulled my phone from my pocket, checked the time like I had somewhere to be. "What do you think? Should we call this now or keep pretending for 12 more months?" Her friends stared at their laps. The confident laughter from half a minute ago had vanished. "You're being ridiculous," my wife finally said, but her voice shook. "I was just venting to my friends." "Everyone vents. Venting?" I nodded slowly. "Right, falling far below my level. That's venting. Can we talk about this in private?" She stood, face flushed. "Why?" "Your friends already heard the important part. They know I think you're beneath me." I looked at the 3 women on the couch. None of them would meet my eyes. I went for the stairs. She followed, heels clicking frantically on the hardwood. "Where are you going?" "Packing," I said without turning around. "You can't be serious," she said. "You just told your friends our marriage is over." "Why would I not be serious?" I asked, stopping on the landing to look back at her. She tried to argue, overreacting, girl talk, me being dramatic. I tuned most of it out and pulled my duffel from the closet. Work clothes, underwear, socks, toiletries, phone charger. "This is insane," she said from the doorway. "You're going to throw away 5 years over one comment." I zipped the bag, turned to face her. "You think this is about one comment? You spent an hour trashing me to your friends, laughing about how I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for someone who talks about me like that. So, let's both upgrade." She blinked. "I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it?" I asked. She had no answer. I walked past her down the stairs. Her friends were gone. Wine glasses abandoned on the coffee table. I grabbed my keys off the hook by the door. "Where are you going to go?" she asked from the top of the stairs. "Does it matter?" I said. "Of course it matters. This is your home." "No," I said. "This is a house where my wife thinks I'm beneath her. Not the same thing." Then I left. I sat in my truck for a minute, hands on the wheel, breathing. The adrenaline started to wear off. My chest was tight, but under the shock, there was something else I hadn't felt in a long time. Relief. I drove to the nearest motel, a Super 8 off the highway. $49 a night. The room smelled like old carpet and industrial cleaner, but it had a bed and a lock on the door. Good enough. I dropped the duffel on the floor and sat on the edge of the mattress. My phone buzzed. Then again. All from her. "We need to talk. Please come home. You're being childish." "I'm sorry, okay, I'm sorry." I turned the phone face down and stared at the wall. Tomorrow I would figure out my next move. Tonight, I needed to process what had just happened. I fell asleep only after exhaustion took over. The ceiling had a water stain shaped like Oregon. I woke at 6:15 a.m. to my phone vibrating like a possessed thing. 23 missed calls, 47 texts, all from her. I scrolled through while the coffee maker in the corner gurgled to life. The messages were a roller coaster. Anger, apologies, accusations, More apologies. The most recent at 4:37 a.m., one word. Please. I poured the motel coffee into a foam cup and sat on the bed. My work shirt from yesterday was wrinkled, but it would do. I had a shift starting at 8. Life doesn't stop because your marriage implodes. A different name popped up on my screen. Vanessa. My wife's best friend, the tall one with the short blonde hair who'd been sitting on the left of the couch. I almost ignored it. Almost. But something made me answer. She called 5 seconds after I texted back. Her voice was quiet, nervous. Thanks for picking up. I wasn't sure you would. Make it quick. I have work in 90 minutes. Look what you heard last night. That wasn't just venting. She's been planning this. The divorce. I felt cold settle in my stomach. Planning? Yes, since February. 5 months ago. Vanessa's voice got stronger. She's been setting you up. For what? To make you the one to leave. Her lawyer told her walking out would help with asset division. Make you look like the bad guy. My hands went cold. The coffee cup shook. She's been documenting things, too. Writing down arguments, taking screenshots of bank activity, spinning them to make you look aggressive or neglectful. Her lawyer is Gregory, downtown. She's been talking to him since March. I'm recording this call. I'll send the file. I'll testify if I have to. I sat back on the bed, trying to process it all. Why would Vanessa risk their friendship? Because what she did last night was wrong, she said. You didn't deserve that. She promised to send the recording. She promised to back me up. I told her thank you, then thought, get a lawyer today. I found a business card in my wallet. Derek from shipping had given it to me months ago. Mr. Caldwell, family law attorney. I called. As soon as possible, I said. They had an opening at 4:30. I took it. I saved Vanessa's recording, screenshots, everything, 3 backups, emailed to myself. My wife thought she was 3 steps ahead. She had no idea I'd just caught up. I dressed for work, still numb but moving. I called my supervisor, Pete, a former Marine who didn't tolerate drama but would understand. If she calls the warehouse, tell her I'm unavailable, I said. And if you need to talk, my door's open. He answered like a friend. Consider it done. At 4:30, Mr. Caldwell sat across from me in a small conference room. Mid-50s, gray hair, the look of a man who'd seen every divorce trick twice over. I laid everything out. The conversation I overheard, my exit, Vanessa's call, the recording, the documentation. He listened to Vanessa's file. When it ended, he leaned back. That changes things considerably. One-party consent state. The recording's legal. She'll testify. That's very good. He flipped to a new page. Do you own the house? We lease. 2-bedroom. We've been there 3 years, I said. We discussed cars, bank accounts, savings. $4,000 in savings, maybe $800 in checking. My truck was paid off. Her Honda still had payments. I had a 401k with around $6,000. She had credit card debt, maybe $7,000. I'd been helping pay it. Bring bank statements, he said. From now on, document every interaction. Screenshots, emails, create a paper trail. And do not permanently abandon the rental property. Temporary is fine. Permanent abandonment complicates things. How fast can we move? I asked. I'll draft a petition. We can file by Monday and serve her next week. Initial retainer is $1,500. Most of my savings. But I had no choice. I withdrew the retainer from our joint savings at the bank, photographed the withdrawal slip, then moved the remaining savings to a new account in my name, documented everything. I stopped at Target, bought a notebook, pens, a fireproof box. Back at the motel, exhaustion hit again, but this time mixed with something else. Control. I wasn't reacting. I was planning. That night, I started writing down everything I could remember from the last 6 months. Dates, fights, times she went out with friends while I worked doubles, credit card bills I'd paid. My hand cramped, but the pages filled with facts and dates. Friday came faster than I expected. I handed Mr. Caldwell the retainer and bank statements during my lunch break. He reviewed them and nodded. The disparity in spending is clear, he said. If anything, you're owed reimbursement. He told me to go back to the house, not to stay long, but to establish I hadn't abandoned the property. The thought made my stomach twist, but he was right. That evening I drove back. Her car was in the driveway, lights on inside. I sat in my truck for 5 minutes, then walked in. She was on the couch, laptop open, glass of wine on the table. "You came back," she said. "I came to get more of my things," I said, and went upstairs to the bedroom. She followed, protesting, begging for counseling, calling it one stupid comment. I zipped a larger suitcase, my good boots, the watch my grandfather gave me, and closed it. "February?" she asked, eyes wide. "You've had a lawyer since February?" "Vanessa told me," I said. She tried to blame Vanessa, but I cut her off. "Don't blame other people for your choices." I walked past her and left. 20 minutes later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't pick up. "Is this the husband of the woman who drives the gray Honda?" the caller asked. "Lindsay, one of the friends who'd been at the house." She sounded ashamed. "I feel terrible about what happened. I'm not going to lie for her. If you need someone to verify what happened, I will." A few days later, while loading pallets at the warehouse, Pete handed me a manila envelope. The process server had delivered the divorce petition. She'd been served that morning. Her lawyer called. I let it go to voicemail and called Mr. Caldwell instead. "They want to negotiate," he said. "She knows she's in a bad position. We arranged a settlement meeting for Thursday." When her lawyer, a sharp-suited woman in her 40s, arrived, they laid out terms. They wanted a clean split, my wife to take her car and personal belongings, give up claims to my 401k, and split the joint account 50-50, but also wanted me to cover her credit card debt. "No," Mr. Caldwell said. "He has documentation showing he covered rent, utilities, groceries. The joint funds were used heavily for her expenses. She can handle her own debt. We'll negotiate, but not on that." After 20 minutes of back and forth, they agreed. Clean split, no spousal support. She takes her car, with its debt. I keep my truck and 401k, joint accounts split evenly. Lease broken early, penalties split. Not perfect, but fair. Done. I felt strange driving back to the motel that night. Lighter, untethered. 5 years of marriage ended with signatures on paper. She texted me, "I hope you're happy now." I typed back, "I'm not happy, but I'm free." Then I blocked her number. I started looking at apartments, small, affordable, closer to work. The paperwork took 3 weeks. During that time, Vanessa sent more screenshots. Messages between my wife and her lawyer from March. Plans to document my behavior, to exaggerate arguments, to claim I'd been controlling. Mr. Caldwell added them to the file. Insurance, he called it. On signing day, she looked tired. Hair pulled back, no makeup. We signed in separate rooms. I never saw her face. The fallout among her friends was fast. Lindsay, Ben, others reached out to apologize. The group that used to meet twice a week stopped inviting her. Derek told me, "Karma's brutal sometimes." My ex moved into a smaller place, took a second part-time job. The debts were hers. I moved into a 1-bedroom 15 minutes from the warehouse with help from Pete and Derek. "Bachelor pad," Derek joked as he set down a box labeled kitchen. I wasn't sure I'd be fine, but I kept working. Pete pulled me aside months later. "Assistant manager position is opening. Interested?" "Yes," I said. "I want it." Life moved forward. Work became an anchor. 2 months after the divorce, I ran into Clara Whitaker at Panera. Accounting, pleasant, intelligent. She asked if I wanted coffee. I agreed. We spent 2 hours talking about anything but my divorce. There was curiosity, warmth, no pressure, possibility. A few months later, at a work event, someone mentioned my ex-wife had moved again. Smaller place, still working 2 jobs. I felt neither satisfaction nor pity, and just acceptance. Clara squeezed my hand under the table. "You okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "I am." One night, lying in bed, I thought about that Wednesday 8 months ago, walking into my living room and hearing my wife tell her friends I wasn't good enough. The humiliation, the decision to leave, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Not because I wanted revenge, but because it forced me to stop accepting less than I deserved. I learned you can't build a future with someone secretly planning your exit. You can't love someone into respecting you. You can't win a game you didn't know you were playing. But you can walk away, start over, and build something better. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. If you like this story, consider subscribing. It really helps. I've picked 2 other videos you'll probably enjoy. Click on them and I'll see you in the next story. End.